Again?
Ready to go.
Here, let me adjust, slide adjust. Ready to go, here we go. Dan Study Podcast, episode 43. William, how are you?
Excellent. Let's go, Dan.
Good here. So this is a bit of a revisit from episode 25 when I talked about mimicry versus actual learning. So I'm trying to figure out this idea. First of all, what is plagiarism in the 2020s? Because there's so much information that's so readily available. How do we credit anyone with any sort of idea? And I feel like the best ideas and the way that we make change is like stealing people's ideas and kind of making them our own. So I'm on the fence on, I guess, learning as a concept when it comes to a new idea. And there's going to be a lot that continue to come out. So how do you figure this one out?
Man, so yeah, it's like what is the birth moment of a new idea? Is that kind of what you're getting? It's like there all these ideas are thrown around all the time. When does it become a fully formed, like attributable thing?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, there's the old, back in the day, 5-6 years ago, they had the TED Talk or the TED radio hour on what is original. That I thought was quite interesting. And there's kind of arguments that original is really tough to nail down, which I agree with. But and I think about even just from my perspective, if I'm making an argument on like universal basic income or like determinism, it's like you didn't all those ideas were like planted in there, Dan. Like, and you kind of making your own thing. But are you stealing them all? It's like I don't know. It's a sort of ethical dilemma there to me at least.
Yeah, I think it kind of comes back. I know we talked recently about when to break the rules, right? Like first you have to the best way to break the rules is to learn the current rules and then add or change. So I think, in my opinion, the best way in most cases, there are obviously exceptions, but usually the best way to, look for original ideas is to look for who's already mastered their craft and is at the very edge of the next thing. Not just random people, just like who are not experts, who haven't, I don't know. I'm very biased towards experts. So.
Right. Yeah. I'm not as much. I think the term expert is a bit loaded, but no, I agree with you that I can't see folks throwing shit out willy nilly, just like, hey, what about this? What about this? What about this? It's like that's not how you get original, proper things. It needs to have a proper framework about it to make it real. So we'll continue on this topic moving forward, but it's an interesting one, I think.
For sure. Okay. Concept of the day here, Dan. You might have seen it before. It's just creative constraint, and so it's basically the big general concept is like to be more creative or productive, you want to actually give yourself some constraints. And so I think extending that idea, a cool way to apply it would be, give yourself a handicap, which this could be something like I can't do any work, on the weekends, or like I have to do all my work during the week, physically impossible. So what are your thoughts on this?
I like it. I'm trying to get my head around it a little bit more. I liked your I don't know if it was an analogy, but it was kind of like an explanation that stuck with me when we chatted briefly about pre-show. It was just like the idea of everything being possible is such, it's the classic paradox of choice. Like, I can do anything, therefore you're so much less likely to be productive in any way. So I think shutting that down for your brain is very important when it comes to productivity, whatever you end up choosing to focus your time and attention on.
Yeah, and I think you could even apply this to even like a physical sort of thing as well, where it's like, okay, my handicap for this afternoon, let's say you want to work out more or something. So my handicap this afternoon is I have to sit still for 4 hours. And trust me, you will probably be very excited to move around, and you'll probably have a lot of interesting ideas about moving around and being able to move around after you force yourself to sit for 4 hours, right?
That's one that I did not think you were going to go that way. I think it's something like, I can't physically open my laptop for 4 hours or something like that.
It could go in any direction, but just some sort of constraint that gets your brain thinking differently. So like, for example, maybe you just go for a walk with super crazy, this might not be the most safe idea, super well insulated, like earplugs, headphones, and just you hear nothing for a walk. And then you do the same lap and you take them off, right? You're going to notice things so much differently on both those walks. So just something where you're able to kind of physically or mentally focus your attention in different ways. I think it's could be worth doing.
Something to switch it up, it's a good tip as well. I like you do the concept as well as a tip, so credit to you for stealing both those concepts. So I'm stealing one from you here, neological fallacies. This is what I've been hearing a lot lately, and it's driving me bananas a little bit from a personal perspective and a work perspective. But it's the classic, Dan, when I was your age, we didn't complain about things like that. We didn't, I had to work out of a phone book as opposed to sell the way that you want to do it now. So what's that logical fallacy, William? Help me out with that.
Right, I mean, it's kind of an appeal to tradition in a way, right?
Ding, ding. Wow.
Oh, got it. First time. It's my segment, man. My segment, man.
You just claimed the segment as your own. Appeal to tradition is exactly it. Yeah, it's slightly different from an argument. Yeah, I was looking at it and I was like, is it an appeal to tradition or is it an argument from age? Argument from age is slightly different because it's like looking at age as a positive thing when it comes to wisdom, which is not necessarily true. It's like just because Socrates said it doesn't mean that it means that is awesome. I think it's more an argument from age or someone from the 5th century is like, they're so wise because they're in the 5th century.
Right, because it's not like it's I understand that. Yeah.
Right, but the argument to tradition to me is so much more pernicious because it's like anyone who makes it, it's I don't want to say Luddite, but it's a bit odd to me because it's not. I think that we want to see generations make strides and make progress, and whatever it may be, personal or professional.
Maybe at that organizational level, the thing you need to be thinking about is not how you do things, but it's actually your job to think about how you change how you do things, right? It's not if you're thinking about that long-term growth idea, it's actually not your job to think about how you do things right now. It's your job to think about how do we decide how we do things and how do we change how we do things going forward.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, I think that was just the easiest example for me. It's also like if you're not doing what the new in vogue thing is, your competition's likely doing it. So you're doubly stepping behind, or you're taking double steps behind. So let's keep it moving forward, folks.
All right. So there we go. Gotta wear my wrong for you, Dan. We're really stealing each other's segments today, aren't we?
I guess so.
So neglectful parents get a bad rap, highly unethical. You have people who neglect physical neglect, low money, don't have enough money for it, or emotional neglect, just hire a nanny. But I think there's another side of this coin that's also very unethical, possibly more unethical, and it's where you over physically coddle and you over emotionally baby. So where am I wrong here? Is it unethical to overparent in those two domains?
The 2021 question of the day. I like that. It's very, very the idea of it's interesting because it's like, to me, it comes off as an abundance problem, right? It's like less kids than back in previous generations, as well as more time, like more resources for a lot of folks. And it's like, what's the outcome? It's like folks want to be busy, so they'll just like kind of get into the overparent mindset, I suppose, when it comes to if you have that privilege, really, I guess is the best word for it. So I think you're definitely on something when it comes to overparenting. It's not good.
I don't think it gets. I think it kind of gets brushed aside. It's kind of just like, oh well, it's from a good place.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like they're aware that they're trying, and it's like, yes, but there are a lot of implications for just giving kids things. Doing for kids what they should learn how to do themselves. Kind of
Right.
argument.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting one. I just thought it's because it's such a new phenomena that it's like maybe the last, I don't know, 20 years or so ish,
Yeah. But
maybe
think about-
25. That's
yeah,
like,
and-
what will the long-term outcomes be? Because there's been neglect for as long as there's been people. I mean, it's obviously tough to care for a child in any capacity in an evolutionary situation there, and small tribe and constantly in danger, what have you. But in a societal perspective, it changes, but it's still there. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm very interested in like the over gifting, like just giving your kids lots of physical things, and that's good parenting.
Yeah, I don't know about that one either. Who would think
So-
that's a good thing?
Well, so I see it a lot with a handful of my students at least,
Oh, yeah.
where
Yeah.
They
They always
they're
come up
ob-
with new shoes and clothes and
yeah,
technology.
it's the trappings of fame and fortune, right? It's like
Mm.
and it's from a good place, right? The parents are like, hey, maybe I didn't have this. I want to
Right.
make sure my kids have this, and it's totally from a good place, totally coming from a good place. But when you just give kids everything they want without attaching anything to it, right? There's there's no concept of I've earned it. This, I get things for this reason. If I work hard, etc., I do well in school,
Yeah.
etc. Like if there's no strings attached to, I just get things. That is like a huge disservice, I think,
Yeah.
to kids. But
Mm.
and obviously
We'll
that
see.
happens. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, the outcomes will be interesting, man. I don't know. I feel like because we're born early '90s. It's like I feel like we're probably the earliest of like that, kind of Jonathan Haidt coddled generation
Oh
concept, I suppose.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's a very small percentage of folks that happened to. I mean, it's all relative too. It's like I don't think of myself as as someone who was generally coddled, but someone who had a different life experience could be
I
like,
think
yeah, man, you were totally coddled. Like, what are you talking about? You had this and this. It's like, yeah, maybe you're right.
Yeah. What I think is funny is I think there's definitely, and again, this is like only my own experience with people I know.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, nowadays we're kind of trained. It's like if you don't know something, you go find on the internet the best way to do it, the most well reviewed, whatever way thing, and that's what parents are going to do, right? That kind of person, that's how they're going to solve problems with kids.